Okay, it's recording. So, I know we saw each other like 5 seconds ago, but how are you? How was your today? How was your day today?
I had technology issues, as you saw in class, which was not cool. But besides that, it's pretty good.
So, what's going on? Whoa, um, had a really weird voice crack. So what's going on with the whole math thing? I know the math teachers this year kind of had it have it hard because you guys just have to keep going with the content. Other teachers can like slow down and let other cohorts catch up, but you guys just seem like you guys have to keep going. Is that something that the district wanted you to do, or is it something the principal wanted you to do, or so what's going on with it?
So that's just something that we kind of decided as a math department. And so basically, we know that there's so much content that we have to get through for each of our courses. And so the best way that we thought to get all of the courses was to have live classes for people to join through the Google Meet, and then to just kind of continue rolling with the material, because it's a lot harder with math to have something for you guys to do at home if you didn't have the notes.
And so so there is a full plan to this. So you guys plan on being done with like, because obviously we go by semesters. So we have two semesters obviously. So you guys plan on being done with all of your content by the end of the semester?
Well, so we plan on covering the same amount of material this semester that we covered last fall semester,
Oh,
even though we have a hybrid model.
I see. And so are there any kids, or should I say high school kids? Are there any high school kids struggling with this? Because I know I have. I'll admit it. I'll admit it right now. I know I have. But is there anybody else that have struggled with this, or is it just been pretty easy with them?
I think it is really difficult, especially for like Algebra 1 and geometry. I think for some of our like higher level classes, so like I also teach college algebra and I teach college algebra. And it's not that they aren't struggling with it, because I think they are. But yeah, so basically, students are struggling with it because the best way to get material is when you're in person, you're seeing your teacher explain what's going on, and you can ask questions in real time. Um, but especially for some of our classes in the math department, especially like our AP classes or our concurrent enrollment classes, there is so much material that we have to get through either in a semester or the full year. And so that's sort of why we're doing it. We know that it's not the best way to learn it, but we're trying to make the best out of it.
And is there any struggle coming from the teachers, or is it just the students? Like, are there teachers struggling with this, like the math teachers that are like generally struggling with this to keep up, or is it pretty much easy for you guys but hard for the students?
No, it's hard for us too. One, there's technology issues where,
Mhm.
like, for example, today I had my Google Meet just stop working. And so the people at home were, I don't even know what they were thinking or doing, but I couldn't share my screen. And then anytime that there's technology issues, that's always very frustrating. And I think especially for teachers, it's hard for us to know which students are struggling and which students aren't, just because we don't have as much interaction with you guys. So it's harder for us to know, like, if you're actually getting the material. Um, yeah. Yeah, and I know that there are a few math teachers who have chosen not to do the live, like Google Meets, for their Algebra 1 and geometry classes. And I can't remember if, I think they're on a similar pace with us, but I can't remember because it's been a while since I talked to them.
And are you guys excited to, because we don't know, because all I know is that the elementary schools are going back right after fall break. We don't know when we're going back. And when we do, and if we do go back, is there going to be any changes? Are we going to be staying on Canvas, or is it just going to be like, because we're going to be in school full time, we're just going to get hard copies of everything for math?
I think we're probably still going to stick with having a lot of things on Canvas, just because most of the stuff on Canvas is still like what we would be doing in like hard copies. So like, for example, last year I used Google Classroom a lot to post my homework, to post my notes. And so basically, instead of it being Google Classroom, I'm just using Canvas. Yeah.
And do you grade through Canvas or Infinite Campus? Because I know, because some of my teachers, they said that some of my teachers, they grade through Canvas and Infinite Campus, and then there's some teachers that just grade through Canvas, and then there's some teachers that grade just through Infinite Campus. So it's kind of, for me, I have it both ways pretty much. Do you grade through Infinite Campus or Canvas?
So your final grade is on Infinite Campus. So for the math, or like for my classes, my final grade is on Infinite Campus, but I use Canvas to actually like grade the stuff, but then it transfers onto Infinite Campus.
And if I don't think I asked this question yet, but if we do go back full time, are we going to see any changes involved with Canvas or in person hard copies? Is there going to be any change, or is it just, do you think it'll stay the same?
I think it'll change a little bit in the sense of like there will be more stuff that you can do in person. But like I personally will probably still have you guys submit homework through Canvas, just because it's easy for me to track and I don't have to have a bunch of papers that I'm taking home each night. It's just all there. It's easy for me to see if there's still something that I need to grade, or if people haven't submitted things, stuff like that.
And is the math team excited to go back, or are you guys hoping it would stay like this?
I mean, obviously, like this model is not ideal for teaching. So yes, going back would be nice. I don't know what that would look like with COVID. And so I think a lot of things are still kind of up in the air with like what that would look like, as far as like social distancing and still being able to do the content that we want to do and need to do. So yeah, I think that it's a very complex question, because I think in some senses I would love to get back to normal, and then in other senses I'm like a little hesitant.
And are some teachers scared to go back? Like, are they scared that the work would be overload for the students and the teachers, or are they just like, okay, we just need to go back? It's pretty much pointless now. Are some teachers scared to go back full time? Are they scared about it?
I would say like the only reason why they would be scared or hesitant to go back is just for like health reasons, not necessarily for content or anything like that. Because obviously we've all been full-time teachers before, and that's what we're used to, and having our kids in person the whole time. But I think so ideally that's what we would love to do. I think there are still a few concerns with COVID, of like health concerns kind of thing.
And are you hoping that this year goes by really fast since do you think the year's going slow so far, or do you think it's going pretty fast with this whole like half and half deal?
I think it's a paradox, because I feel that the days drag on, but I can't believe that it's already the end of September.
Yeah, I mean, because the way I see it is, yeah, I'm obviously cohort B, and so we don't go to school Monday. But well, technically, I still go to school on Monday, but I'm not at school. I wake up in the morning, I go to school, I do my stuff, and then when I'm done at the end of the day, I just continue as normal. And then the second day, I go to school and go see my teachers, do all this stuff in class, and then the day after that is it's kind of like a rest day for me. I don't know why. It just feels like a rest day. And so I just do the work as normal. But I feel like that's why it's going fast for me. It's just because we have that day in between of staying home. And I love it. But then again, I wish we could go back. But it's obviously not up to me. So
Yeah.
that's why I asked that question, because some people are like, I think we just go back full time, and other people are saying, well, I think we should stay because of health concerns. But I don't know. So
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of unknowns and things that are up in the air, and I am very thankful that I do not have to make any of those decisions. And I kind of just do what I'm told to make the best out of it that I can, and sort of roll with the punches, and yeah, just try to make the best of it is sort of how I look at it.
and you talked about earlier that technology is not working on you, and I totally understand. I totally get where you're coming from. What Well, I guess my next question would be is what do you think could be done about the technology part to where it could be easier than what you're having to go through?
So I think I have all the tech. So I think I personally have all the technology that I need to make it go smoothly. The issue is that it usually doesn't work the way I think or want it to.
Hmm.
And so I don't know if it's an internet issue, like if we don't have enough like internet capability or what. Like, so I don't know if the internet's just going too slow and that's why things aren't working for me, or basically I don't know what the actual issue is, so I don't know what the solution
Hmm.
would be. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I would say that would make sense. I don't know if it would make sense to other people. Um, Now I'm totally blank spacing because that was pretty much all the questions I was going to ask you. I'm trying to make this a fast and simple process, but obviously I don't think I'm trying to make it that way. Is I guess before we conclude this, is there anything else that we should know about the math team, or is there any new stuff coming out other than new homework, or is
Um,
that pretty much it? Just the whole problems with COVID and all that.
yeah, so something that a lot of the math teachers are kind of trying out this year, because with our budget, we were able to get all of the math teachers new iPads. And so we got new iPads that are compatible with the Apple Pen. And so some of us have been using a program called Onenote where we can annotate directly on to the guided notes. And so that's what I've been using in class. And so the nice part about using OneNote is that with a link, students can then see all of the guided notes that we do in class, which is really nice if anybody misses class or if they're more of an auditory learner. So they like to sit and listen and watch, and then they can copy down the notes later on, stuff like that.
Sounds really high tech. I'm not really a tech guy, but it sounds really high tech.
It's not super complicated. It yeah, it's just kind of nice because regardless of if you're high tech, like if you're really high tech, you could then have your own OneNote document that you are then also taking the notes with. But for sort of my purposes, I like to have it so that way then if a student misses class, they can just click on my link to OneNote, and then they have all of the guided notes that we've done so far.
Well, I think this concludes the second episode to, I don't know what to call this thing I'm doing. I honestly don't know. But I want to thank you so much for coming on, and I really want to thank you for pulling time out of your, I'm assuming, busy schedule. And I want to say thank you.
You're very welcome.
Okay, that concludes that. I'll stop recording.